Let's roll. This is Countercharge, your podcast for ranks, flanks, and kings of war. Join your hosts as they delve into the world of Panithor and bring you worldwide coverage of all things Kings of War.
Welcome to Countercharge. I'm Rob Enough.
And I'm Matt Croger. Thank you for joining us for our May Fireside. Well, we've got some big news tonight, but you're going to have to wait to find out. But, some of you will be shocked to your core about some changes, that are upcoming. That's for sure. First of all, let's roll into our community update, Rob. I might kick us off. Just been to and from a one-dayer in Sydney, so you'll hear about that, the CAC Cup 2. And I haven't been spanked like that since I was a child. That's for sure. A couple of those games, it was not a great outing for the first ride of the Trident Realms. And then I guess there's a 2-dayer coming up soon. A couple of 2 days coming up soon, Convic in Melbourne, but tickets have closed for that. But tickets are still open for Winter's Wrath in Port Macquarie, which is the New South Wales Masters auto qualifier for us. So that's coming up. And I've been beavering away trying to update Blackjack for 4th edition, trying to take some of the comments about swinginess and things like that and seeing if we can come towards a better way, which I think I'm almost at. I've just got it out for some feedback now, and then, at the moment it's completely mathematical. But probably worth doing an episode on because I can, I'll be able to talk through some of the changes that have been made. So I'll probably do that before it's formally released. And as part of that, I'm also trying to work through rebuilding the Kings of War Australia website. So plenty happening, Rob, as well. I don't know. I don't know when I'm doing it, to be honest, because as for you, life is still a bit mad.
Before we get to me, I'm curious, how far Canberra to Sydney? Is that like a 10-hour drive?
Oh, that one was only 2.5.
Oh, that's easy then. Okay.
Yeah, baby drive.
And who touched you in the bad spot?
Kakwar himself almost tabled me if I hadn't run a damn Buster Sentinel into a corner.
He is familiar with genitalia.
Yes, he is. Yeah, both kinds. And Owen Jones from Sydney too. A couple of big mistakes in that one, whereas Kakwar just pounded me big time. So what about you, mate? What have you been up to?
If they just listen to the episode that I just posted with Trent, I finally got the sod done. Can't even make this up. I started this 6 weeks ago, trying to get it done in the spring so that I would be in the rainy season and I wouldn't have to water, delay, whatever. Fine. So it's down now. Now I get to water the crap out of the sod, right? So fortunately today we have a thunderstorm. That's nice.
Here's the drum roll, Rob.
So because everything is kind of caught up outside the house, things are slowing down at work. Going to U.S. Masters now.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I was thinking about it in the back of my mind. And then Andy Patton pinged me. He's like, hey, are you possibly thinking about, I was like, you're a mind reader, man, because I was just thinking about this. So I asked the boss and she said, yeah, you can go. I was like, okay. So we're driving. I think it's 16 hours, but I could be wrong. We're going from Memphis to Duluth. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, compared to Reno, walk in the park. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't think I'm going to play. I've reached out to Jason Burr. He's going to have a place for us to set the studio up. My goal is to go get as much content as possible. Outside of Blue City Brawl, which happened in March, I haven't been to a tournament since last October.
Wow.
The Michigan GT. So yeah, it'll be fun to get back with the guys. And to be fair, I've never actually been to the northern part of Minnesota, which I'm actually really excited about because, I am a Michigan guy. So on the episode with Trent, we did chat about a widget set that I created. Trent's been printing it out, giving me some feedback. I'm working to improve the design, and we hope to have the STL files posted to the website probably in the next couple of weeks. One of the things I've got to do, Matt, is with 40 millimeter markers now for objective tokens and stuff, I've got to make a new tray for that. So I'm working on that. So as soon as I gave the files to Trent does what Trent does, which he loaded that up. Within a couple of days, he's like, look at all these trays I made. Oh my God. It's like, oh, Trent, he's only got one speed, and that's, 90 miles an hour. So, but he's giving me a lot of great feedback. And so we'll get that posted up shortly. Should we jump into some hobby updates? I'll start. I don't have any other than I can see models on my table that haven't dust on them.
Be fair to yourself, mate. You're the sod master now.
I live in the south of the United States. Most people would use a Bermuda. And so I had to figure out, well, that's not bespoke enough for me. So let me find what version. And, Mark Cox will be happy to know that I ended up with Palisade Zoysia grass, which was actually created at Texas A&M.
I can't believe we're talking about different grass seed.
I know.
That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah. I don't have any anymore. We got rid of it so I don't have to mow it. We had a terrible grass called cooch.
We talking about catquaw again or what? They do that down in Arizona and stuff in the Southwest. What's the point? That the grass isn't going to survive. So they'll just put rock down and paint it green. I mean, the last 2 weeks, it's been high 80s to mid 90s, and it's 65% humidity. As I mentioned on the episode with Trent, I'm a fat guy, so I go outside to get the mail. I come back in, I'm like, gotta change my shirt because I'm sweating.
Oh, yeah. I can't stand humidity anymore. Coming in growing up in a coastal place, I was used to it. But then having moved to Canberra because it's inland, it's just dry as. And so when you change back now, it's just I can't handle it. Disgusting.
That's the way it was in California too, in Southern California where I lived. It was they would say it's a dry heat. There's some truth to that. It could be 100 degrees, but with this low humidity, it's not that bad. But 90 degrees and 75% humidity, I'm about to pass out.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that's my hobby updates. I don't have any, but I'm going to get some. I mean, I guess, you know what? I'm going to count the work I've been doing on the widget set. That's hobby. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm going to count it. I'm going to count it.
Yeah. Well, I'm worried now, Rob. Now that you've committed to Masters, and I'm sure you'll take an army actually, you won't be. Will you go to Best of Rest? Are you going to play or are you just going to record?
I'm not planning on it right now. We'll see. I've got about a month. Hey, everybody's talking about all these freaking Commodons. Maybe I just need to bust out the Sallies and 4 Commodons. Auto win, right? That's what everybody's telling me. So.
I'm worried now. If your life is settling, I'm worried that you'll come for me on the hobby challenge.
There's so much room for activity now. I am ready to go. So I'm ready to I'm ready to go. And I'm ready to be more inside. You obviously
you're tan. Look at you.
Yeah, the podcast listener can't see it, but I literally have probably spent 4 or 5 hours every day, in large stretches. And so, I'm crispy.
Yeah, excellent. Well, for me, I've now completed just over 2,700 points of Trident Realms, painted, based, and everything. And I'll tell you what, I've got a lot more to build and paint, but for the hobby challenge, I needed to move on for a while. So, and I'm assembling the Lion Snarl Cavalry for the Zerkali at the moment. And I've assembled a heap of other stuff. I've just about assembled what was effectively the one-click bundle plus a little bit more. So I've got heaps of options. I just decided pretty much I'm going to assemble everything I've got in the cupboard for them. So that's all done. And then I'll do the primer spray for it all, so that way it's less of a barrier for me to continuing with it when I want to. So I've got to finalise what paint scheme I'm going to go for them. I think I've got an idea, and I've been printing lots of pieces for the bases because I'm going to go with them having returned to the Empire of Dust, Rob.
I like it.
I decided I couldn't take Jeremy's thing, and so I've been printing things again, the listeners won't be able to see, but printing things like this to go on the base.
Oh, man.
Some Egyptian-y type pieces, but they've got that doggish look about them as well. So,
like John Anubis statues and staircases and stuff. Very cool.
So I think I've just about got all the pieces I want printed for that, but I am going to do it a bit more ruin-like. It's not going to be completely intact. So I'm going to cover the bases with sand, and a lot of the stuff will be partially immersed in sand. So we'll see how that goes. So that's me. Shall we roll into community engagement it's probably for a couple of months really, because we haven't done it properly for a couple of months.
I was trying to figure out where we left off with the comments. And so I just sort of had arbitrary draw a line because I don't remember. Right. And so we will dive in. Had some great feedback on Spotify. Batman mentioned in terms of our March Fireside, he said, I saw the same reaction to the new Ghost in the Shell anime that's airing later this year. I'm glad that both Mantic and the anime studio are going with the original vision of the franchise. Don't get why some people hate the look of the manga so much. In 35 years, there haven't been any faithful adaptations. It's about time. I really like the idea of 10mm Kings of War. It would be a lot of fun to make huge armies. He especially likes the super heavy. So thanks for the feedback there. Again, it's the same episode. We got a comment from Kodos talking social media for Kings of War. There's also a growing community on Reddit as more modern alternative to the Kings of War forum. and Facebook without the downside of the algorithm. Yeah, because in Reddit, if I correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, you upvote stuff, right? So it's got to be popular for it to hit the top. And of course, the downside is that nothing is hitting the critical mass when everyone just sticks to Facebook. Honestly, I'm using Facebook less and less and less. I absolutely hate it.
I had an idea, and maybe I'll get it going. And I think, and well, let's just pull the trigger, and I'll pop it in the show notes. But let's do. I think I'll do a link to. We'll just put a little bit of a vote out to the listeners, and it deliberately we won't post it on Facebook, otherwise it'll create bias about what are the social media channels that you are using to get your Kings of War content, because I think it's worthwhile us getting some somewhat unbiased content on where people are going. And it's probably still, I think it will still be primarily Facebook, but because that's where it is. So we might do a question on what you're currently using and what's your preferred mode, and we'll just see what comes back. But we'll only release it as a link in the show notes, I think. So
perfect.
Yeah, if you want to give us some feedback, let's do that.
And then we have another comment from Bill Richardson about episode 844, which is I think the first of Trent Sosby coming back into the fold. He said the Carolina Cryptid is late May and it's a primo event. I would go, but I'll be on vacation. So I'm sure you were missed, Bill. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the episode with Trent, who talked about the event and going. It sounded like a cracking time. My good friend Tony Nelson won the event. Trent took home a Best Painted Mantic Army. So it's an event on my bucket list for sure. And it's not that far. I'm going to guess, I don't know, 12 hours. I don't know. It's Carolina. It's not that far. I mean, I got to go all the way across Tennessee, but for those that are geographically challenged, Tennessee is a very short state, like up and down, and it's a really long state. And I live in Memphis, which is the bottom southwest corner. So you got to go all the way across. So that's Spotify. Just a reminder, we have 46 ratings on Spotify. So if you like what we do here, drop us a rating. That we always appreciate it. Next, let's jump in and talk about Apple Podcasts. We've been stuck at 79 ratings for a really long time. So again, if you like what we do here, drop us a review. Those reviews do help us move up, in the rankings and stuff. A funny story. Some people know that I'm a bit of a Luddite in the sense of like, I don't like change. So I had an iPhone SE. That's an iPhone 6 for those that are realizing. We're on an iPhone 17. It finally, Matt, gave up the ghost. So now I'm using my 17-year-old daughter's busted up iPhone 10. I'm only like 10 years behind now.
You've finally got access to iMessage or something.
Correct. Yeah. Oh my God. My old phone was a piece of crap, but you know what? It's like one of those things where I'm like, it was my piece of crap. Kings of War Forum. We had some great comments. One comment about the episode 847 with Trent Sosby, the second one we had with him. Free and Escatar said, it sounds like you're all struggling for time at the moment. I know the feeling with everything in life. Hopefully that changes soon for you guys. And yeah, I'm happy to say that it is pivoting a little bit for me. And then comment on Countercharge 850, which is the one that we had Adam and Josh. We had a lot of great feedback about those guys. They don't pull their punches, and they just tell you what they think. And I really appreciate, direct.
They belong in Australia, those two.
Yeah. And so Dark Black mentioned on the Kings of War forum, it was nice to hear something positive. So that's obviously a shot across Jeremy's bow, right? Because Mr. Negativity of recent times. So it's, yeah. No, they're super positive guys. And then this comment on Kings of War forum kind of made my day. We just posted 851, which is the latest episode with Trent and our good old friend Fred. Basically, at their Kings of Oslo 2026 event, the countercharger is defined as the best of the bottom half. We're going to change that officially. That's what it needs to be. Because in fact, we're always like, well, battle midpoint, right? You're like the middle of mediocrity. No, the best of the bottom half. You're the best of the losers.
I do like that.
Great feedback there. We did have a comment on Podbean. From RQIFGIAI. I don't know how that's pronounced, but he said it's a fantastic show. And again, anywhere that you can rate us, please do it. We can always use the bump.
Someone must have been afraid of giving their real name to Podbean.
And to be fair, I'm going to try to be better at keeping up on comments. It's, again, maybe your poll that you're putting up will help me understand where people are engaging us. Because I don't have Amazon Music on here. I didn't do YouTube because YouTube doesn't really, I don't even think YouTube you can actually rate. Can you even, you can thumbs up an episode, but I don't think you can rate an actual show.
Yeah. And I don't think, as far as I'm aware, I don't think that there's like really easy ways to keep up. Like, I don't think there's anything that we can automate just for us to ping us when when there are comments or anything. So it literally just takes, well, depending on the site, whether it's Reddit or Facebook or whatever, you rely on the algorithm showing you almost sometimes.
Well, Spotify is pretty good because they have a creator site, so you can click it and it'll show you your comments. But you still have to know where you left off last time, right? Well, with that, let's take a quick commercial break. On the other side, let's get into the Mantic news. We'll be right back.
This is Akama 13
and Ashwalker,
and you are listening to Countercharge.
Welcome back to Countercharge. Let's jump into Mantic news. I don't know if you've been paying attention, Matt, but there is a crap ton, that's an official term, of Halo stuff coming down the pipe. And I am not a Halo player in terms of the video game. I played the first one when I got my original Xbox 23 years ago. I don't know. Long time ago.
A time ago, yeah.
Seeing the UNSC Marines come in, they're amazing. And for those who don't remember, way back, maybe it was like 2 Adepticons or 3 Adepticons ago, a long time ago. I don't remember. But I remember specifically Adam Ballard asking whoever was on the show with us, like maybe it was Ronnie, when are we going to see the Marines? So it's nice to finally see that come to fruition. Matt, what's got me thinking is, how can I take those Marines and run them in either Warpath or Dead Zone as GCPS, because they are dope as hell. And then they also released, they call it the Hand of Atrox. I wasn't playing Halo when they had the Banished. Well, maybe they were. Maybe Banished was in the first game, but that's going too far back. But so they have a cool box set with 3 special characters, and then I also like the fact they brought the grunts for the bad guys, the Covenant, right? So they got the grunts and the jackals finally. So yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but locally, Halo is the one Mantic game that is just killing it, man. It's just killing it. People are loving it.
Yeah, so where the tournament was held on the weekend was a guy we'd seen at Clash of Kings. He had a good chat to Ronnie, and he's basically committed to them that, he'll become the biggest stockist in Australia as long as everything works, which we'll see. But they started with Halo, and I think they're getting they're getting double digits to tournaments, and we're talking in not a necessarily a central part of Sydney, but it's a very populous area, but still, it is a popular game, really popular. Credit to them for picking up a license that's just a banger.
Credit to them to take Dead Zone, which is also a mechanically sound and fun game, and tweaking it to make it feel like the video game. What I really like is my criticism of the Halo originally, before I even played it, when it was coming out, was I don't really want to play Halo I don't want to play the video game on the table, because that's kind of what they're doing. But with all these new units coming out, surely we can't be that far away from, warthogs and mass combat, right? We surely we've got to be close. And they already have Warpath. Why couldn't they just take the Warpath rules and?
Well, I think there's also things that I can't remember if it's been announced. So I'm just not particularly, because it's not Mantic's thing to give away, but I think there's stuff coming that's going to keep the interest in Halo pumping as stuff that's not related to them as a board game, but related to the Halo brand.
Well, and it's probably a good time to mention that they've just extended the license with, Halo Studios. So yeah, you know what? This is one of those cash cows that I'm really appreciative that Mantic has, because that keeps the lights on, right? And funds a lot of other things.
You occasionally see, comments like, "Oh, yeah, they shouldn't waste their time on IP, blah, blah, blah." This, literally, because Kings of War players are bad at buying models, this is what keeps the lights on at Mantic. It's this is the stuff that allows us to have our game.
Exactly. Well, let's jump in and talk about Kings of War. I mean, shout out to the guys at Mantic with the slow grow. They're killing it. I've decided I'm going to completely lower my standards, and I'm just going to pump it out, man. Yeah, I'm going to be I'm going to be dipping models, bro. I'm going to be getting the Minwax out, put on the end of the drill. I'm going straight up 2005 on you. So get ready. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but
I'm scared, actually.
You should be. I'm excited about though this notion of this big summer battle. The Siege of Samarak coming in August. I don't know any details other than the little bit they've put in the blog, but I'm 100% committed to really doing it, because I think that'll be fun. I haven't done they haven't done one in a little while, anyways, but I haven't really participated in earnest. So let's go, man. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget the Kings of War community survey is out. You have till June 28th to fill it out. They made a comment that said, look, it's feedback, but there's really 3 things they wanted you to cover. Things about faction identity. They're curious to hear about that. Your ideas for command orders and your ideas for new units. Talking about new units, we should probably talk about the models that are coming out for nature, right?
We haven't talked about those yet.
I'm a big fan. I really love and maybe there was a couple episodes where maybe we with Trent that we talked about it in passing, but those hard plastic centaurs and Pharaon, I guess is what we're calling them. I think they're cool, man. I really enjoy. I like unique stuff, and like the fact that you have, you see these creatures. You think of like a satyr, right? A goat person kind of thing. This is a cat kind of person, and I think it's cool. And the fact you've got a cat man mixed with a horse, count me intrigued, right? And I'm really excited to get my hands on some of these models so I can paint some up, because I think, man, it could be a lot of fun. And I have those repressed memories of trying to build those metal centaurs back in the day. Regardless, they were pretty models, but they were really hard to put together. I'm ready to have that modern process where I'm not having to deal with pinning little metal bits.
I think they're gorgeous, and putting together the Zerkali plastics, they are smooth. So I'm expecting the quality to continue there. I think the better kit with the Zerkalis is certainly the main warriors and spear wardens kind of kit. That's really, really easy to put together. And the monks, the two-handed, the easiest two-handed model from Mantic I've ever put together. That's for sure.
Really?
Yeah. I agree with you, mate. I think the Pharaons and the Centaurs are just gorgeous. I think they've done a really good job, and the characters like that druid in the main battalion box that's holding the staff in the air, and the new champion character.
Oh, he's amazing. Just sort of sitting on a stump, just thinking about how he's going to eviscerate his enemy. I'm like,
yeah,
I can't wait to get my hands on it.
And I think that the more I've seen them, the more I've liked them. And, I think there's always going to be lovers and haters. And I think we're typically going to see the hate more. I made a comment, I think I'm on an upcoming Direct Misfire episode of, it's also one of those things that people are much more likely to give negative feedback than positive.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's that. And look, there's some models that aren't perfect. I think
100%. I mean, do they still make that elf chariot?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, I hope not.
It's like a bathtub with being pulled by a couple horses, man. It's terrible.
Yeah. Like, I do agree the Green Lady and the Beast of Nature are, let's just say, unusual. But I think part of that was the direction around the paint job, So, like, for the Green Lady, I think if you didn't try and paint the colours of all the elements, it automatically looks a little bit better. Does it make it a great model? No, probably not. But, not everything can be a banger. And the Beast of Nature got some interesting stuff on Fanatics. And again, I think probably maybe just trying to be a bit too clever maybe with the multiple elements in a model. But I did see all the stuff around, this isn't what a Beast of Nature is. Well, Mantic's game, guys. Mantic decides what a Beast of Nature is.
I like the idea, though, of trying to make this Beast of Nature that is a combination of all the elements that are in the army. I think that's cool. It's hard to pull off, right? And I've never seen one that has been pulled off that I really like.
And it is interesting, that particularly with the Beast, some of the feedback about, let's say, particularly the flesh-coloured scheme looked a bit appendage-like or a flying butthole. They kind of had that feedback with the air elementals, so I was surprised to see it,
And if you remember back when they had the Chaos Dwarves coming out for Armada, was it? They had the flyer that they ended up reworking because it just looked like a flying butthole.
Some of the staff at Mantic must have liked it because we know that's how they do their reviewing of models now. They just check internally. And if it gets 2 thumbs up from 2 people, we're good to go. And then I guess the only other thing there, Rob, is the Guardian Brutes, which I think those Minotaurs are delicious. They look really good.
I was telling Trent, when I thought of Guardian Brutes, I always thought of them as owl bears. But I like Minotaurs. but I really like these Minotaurs, like big, chunky, hulking Minotaurs. They look like they could be the Stampede.
A lot of Minotaur models kind of have like less hair, right? And they're kind of more upright, almost more humanoid than anything, whereas these have a real feral aspect to them, I think, that really fits with the theme that Mantic's going for. So I think to me, it's a Minotaur that makes sense in terms of the range. Like there is a touch of the Pharaon kind of catness in the face. You know, it's something about it just really works. And I think I like how they've got the little Pharaons around their feet, and the one on top of, I don't know if you've got the picture in front of you, but
that's amazing.
The one on top is awesome. You know, I think so I think there's some real bangers in there. It's enough to tempt me if I hadn't had like gone all in on Triforms and Zerkali, you know, and I didn't want to stress myself out with trying to achieve another unrealistic goal. I'd probably be going in on it.
Well, and you think about it, they've given us a bunch of stuff, which is kind of the herd element, right? With some other models. But we already have all the elemental stuff available, and those are all bangers, dude. I love all of those elemental stuff. The fire, the water, all of them.
That really took me by surprise, the leaning into the herd aspect.
I was caught off guard that, we are going to really bring back the herd portion of that army in force. I thought that was great.
No, I totally agree.
So we did have our buddy Trent make a post on various Facebook pages, including ours, just as a reminder about the survey. And in his post, Trent said, I also thought it'd be cool to see what everyone is thinking for commands and units. I'll put mine down below. And so here's Trent's. Trent said, I chose Undead as my main faction. My commands look something like this. Number one, something similar to Barkskin tokens for decaying horde units. Put in very little effort on that one. Matt. He didn't even explain how he's going to do it. He just explained, I want it to be like this.
Come on, Trent. Be better, mate.
Load that up. Then number two, he says, increased nerve for decaying horde units. I like that. It's a good concept. And then number three, +1 speed to flesh feast units. Because in our last chat, he mentioned, you know, like there's some of those units like ghouls that aren't really seeing the table as much. So maybe that would be a nice little bump. And he said, I also submitted a unit similar to the Stormforged Shrine, but with a necromancy flavor. I was thinking something like the GW Corpse Cart or Coven Throne, a sweet centerpiece model with a ton of support spellcasting. Interested to see what everyone else came up with. And then David Musgrave chimed in. He said, 8, Abyssal Dwarf commands. Number one, mutants and slaves trait only. 4+, gains elite if engaged in the same combat as an Ironborn unit. I love that. Second idea was Ironborn only. 4+, unit gains crushing strength 1, but defense -1 until the start of the next turn. That's cool because it's like they're almost raging out, like a blood rage, and they're starting to swing and they're hitting harder at the expense of paying attention to the counter punch. So their defense drops. And then number 3, constructs only. 4+, gains dread. Cool.
Next up is Max K. I chose elves. Number 1, steady aim 4+. Target gains +1 to hit during its next range phase, provided it did not receive a halt order. And I'm assuming that means a maximum of 4+. Yeah, Maxi, because that's exactly what elves need. I'm assuming. Blade Ward 4+. Kindred. Oh no, 4+ would be the score he's suggesting on the dice, wouldn't it? It's not
correct.
It's not a maximum.
To get it off.
Yeah. Kindred trait only. For each point of damage the target unit deals during its next combat phase, it gains a Barkskin token up to a maximum of 2. 3. This is my favourite of Max's. I think Feigned Flight 4+. Target unit gains the Feint special rule until the start of its next turn.
Love it. That's cool.
And I think I like that most because I think it feels thematic and. I'm not sure they need the steady aim. The Barkskin's cool as well. And then we've got Danny Bird. I thought he was retired from Kings, but here he is. Halflings, stout little hearts, 4+. The unit may choose to reduce their speed stat and gain that much nerve to a maximum of 2. 2, relentless, 4+. Units with the Pride of the Shires trait only. The unit gains the nimble special rule and N+2 extra attacks, where N is equal to the number of successful dice rolled on this order. The unit also gains thunderous charge +1 when allocating attacks. That's a big one.
That's a big one. There's a lot going on there. I think that breaks your rule, Matt. Like you were saying, like one sentence, maybe too many variables there.
Relentless 4+. We give him all the rules.
That's right. They are relentless with the rules.
Yeah. Fix it 5+. Tinker Tech units only. The target unit must have received or been given a halt order this turn. For each successful result on the dice rolled to issue this order, the unit removes D3 damage it previously suffered. This command is issued by an engineer, remove D6 damage instead. Oh, I think that could be a bit much. He then goes on to elves. Masterful Stride, 4+. Following combat, if the unit is entitled to a post-combat order following a target routed result, it may choose to perform an advanced sidestep, back or changing facing order as if it were in the movement phase. Advanced sidestep. Okay, so he's saying not a random move. A move as per normal. I like that. It also takes some planning. So, because you're going to have to issue the command in your movement phase, expecting to route something after. So I like that there's a little bit of tactics about that and a little bit of risk. False Flight, 4+. The unit gains the Feint special rule. So similar ideas there to Maxi. Keen Elf Eyes, 4+. This order requires 2 dice to be successful. If issued, the unit may draw line of sight through a forest.
I love it. That's cool. That's really cool. That's cool.
I think Daddy's outdone you on the elves there, Maxi. Sorry.
Well, let's take another quick commercial break, and when we get back, let's talk Mantic Vaults. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, this is Drek from the Pin and Broken podcast. Find us anywhere you're listening to popular podcasts. You can also check us out on YouTube at the Gamer Drek channel for paint tutorials, battle reports, and everything else.
All right, welcome back to Countercharge. And next, let's chat about the Mantic Vault. I think we've already touched on the one in May.
Yep. Yeah, Jeremy was a big fan of the bases.
Very big fan. So let's just chat about June. I am blown away. There's some heavy-hitting models in there, right? And some stuff that just came out not too long ago, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, the funny thing for me is that's one of the things that was in my buggered up order. So now I get to print it instead of paying for it. So, I'm happy about that. And the Well of Souls. Oh, yeah.
Love that model. It's very cool. And then I'm not exactly sure. I think those are some kind of GCPS. Are those Pathfinders?
Yeah, so that'll be probably whatever's out this month. It says right there
in the thing, Pathfinders.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that'll be they must be Pathfinders out this month on the Tribe, on My Mini Factory for Firefight. And with the Well of Souls, Jat's already locally. He's actually shrunk it down, printed out a bunch and using it instead of Tortured Souls, which I think is a much better Tortured Souls than the model they have.
100%.
And then some sort of that'll be a Firefight character, won't it? For
Marauder of some sort.
Firefight, yeah, Marauder. And then a whole bunch of little bits and pieces, including a cute little ducky there.
Yeah, and those ones in the bottom right-hand corner, that's like the Mimic and the Owl. That's part of a hard plastic kit, I think, that they have that you can buy. And so that's cool that, this gives people another option for like familiars and, worms and snakes and mimics and owls and stuff. So yeah, it's super cool. Matt, we haven't done a topic of the month.
Not for months. I don't even know if we've done one this year.
Well, we did one now, and we got a very good response. Matt came up with the topic, and it was pick one army from the upcoming book, Fracture, and tell us the one change you're most hoping to see. And Adrian Scott started us off, and he said, I picked ogres. I want red goblin bigots to be worth taking. I love the idea of an ogre army being led by a goblin, but Mantic seems determined to crush my dreams. Yeah, I get that's a cool concept. A blaster would make sense to be leading an ogre army for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You got to have like an extraordinary goblin to be able to pull that off.
And Chuck Williams said, I want Crocodogs in unit form.
Oh, that'd be great. Jesse Garrett, we all know he loves the Seductress, so it's no surprise here. I hope the Seductress becomes a spellcaster and gets a 1 upgrade, which gives her the Gnome Glass Shield. I think he's missing it because we all love that character.
The funny thing is she's still so good. So he wants an upgrade to make her bend. Then we've got Liang Weihao. Sorry if I mispronounced that, Liang. A large cav regiment of ogres riding giant whatever, a la Lion Snarl. The Lion Snarl are gorgeous, Rob.
How are they to put together? Because they're resin, right?
Yeah, not perfect. Not perfect. So there's a bit of a seam across the top, no matter the trim, really. The riders have come out all right, although they're a two-handed weapon, so for 2 out of 3 options.
And the riders are resin as well?
The riders are resin, yeah. But yeah, they're nice. They're easy. Each line is only 3 pieces, which is good. 2 halves that includes the tail and then the head. So that's good. But yeah, a little bit of a seam, but that is hard to get right. When I saw that comment from Liang, I thought, it feels a bit Mornfang doesn't it? But
from Warhammer. So Eddie Barr said, I would love to see Naeus dude on the lion as a champion so he can be taken alongside another warlord choice. Love the new mini, but also want to be able to take another warlord in a single battalion. That's an interesting concept. There are characters in the game. What if they had two versions of a character? This is Naeus before he made great feats and became the hero that he is today, the champion, or the warlord, the basher of evil.
Yeah, Naeus and Naeus Ascendant.
There you go. Naeus or Naeus on the smiling line.
Or Sir Naeus.
Sir Naeus. There you go.
Yeah. Actually, that would be the way to do it, wouldn't it? It'd be foot and riding.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Now we've got Gad. Gad, I'm going to punish you here, mate. Yours isn't being read out because you haven't even picked armies from the right book, you twit. Read the question.
What's funny, though, is, and then by the way, I also, the more than one army.
Yes. Yeah. Wrong error, Gad. So you don't get read out today, buddy. Read the question.
Hong Win Soon said, Kingdoms of Men, proper fanatics. Yeah, that would be cool. Again, they're not in the book.
We said fracture book, guys. Come on. What's happening down there in Kings of War Asia? Come on. Let's be better. David Musgrave, Abbas not being a warlord, and at the very least being able to make Panther Lancer regiments core. Bit of a recurring theme there. I think people want those Panther Lancers, which should be a thing. Like there's Cav in. I mean, there's already some Cav in core, right? I like that idea.
Justin Burke says Basileia, and I would love to see spellcasters across the board no longer able to engage with commands and still be able to cast Blizzard 4 on a 3+. So I guess he's considering commands like part of a magic system, right? And so I think he thinks it's two magic systems. Donnie, our buddy Donnie up in northern Minnesota says, some way to make Sisterhood Scouts anything but specialists. That's not a bad idea.
And Terry, we haven't heard from Terry for a while. I understand it's coming, but rules for Orion, hoping for some kind of interesting unlock option from him, say hordes of foot knights or making mounted knights core, or maybe a buff aura. In a perfect world, both. Regardless, I'm already underway building core units for Basil. But I can't wait to see. I hope they do Orion justice from the books because he's a great character. Yeah.
Kyle from Southern California says Basileia, return of Sisterhood Chariots, and to be cheeky, he also said Ogres, the Goblin Blaster move to Specialist. And then Erasmus Berger, a Sacrificial Imp command would be cool. And then Scott Sallee said an Abyss on a Panther and Sisterhood Chariots. We're getting a lot of comments about Abysses and Sisters.
Brian Luttrell, worthwhile aura/buffs for Salamander Core Infantry. I'm not sure what Brian doesn't like about +1 defense. That's bizarre. And, Life Leech is not bad. Situational, but not bad.
I mean, the +1 defense is awesome, but it does take 2 successes, so I know it's harder to get off. But, yeah, it's pretty powerful, especially on Ceremonial Guard.
Alistair Val says, I want to see Basileia have an identity again instead of just worse Kingdoms of Men. In terms of list design, I want Knights to be core so I can at least make a list legal. I haven't looked at it properly. I thought they had made it into core, but obviously not. Paul Kirkby, Beast of Nature with decent speed. Speed 7's too slow, able to keep up in a speedy list.
Max K says, Abyss unlock Panther Lances in core. High Paladin unlock Knights in core. Plastic Aloha 2, please. Doesn't sound like we're getting that right now, but I agree. We need some plastic Aloha. Paul Collins said, "I'd like to see a return of the Basilean." What's with this Basil? Is that how we describe that? The Basil chariots?
Yeah,
I always thought it was the Basilean chariots, but okay.
Yeah, it's a new thing apparently.
Well, it's an Australian thing, I guess, right? So
I can't keep up with the cool kids.
Yeah, who else said it? Was it Donnie?
Mm-hmm.
Who else said Basil?
Yeah, someone said it. That's going to be your new love. Just love like you like the word pod.
Oh,
talking about podcast.
I can't stand the pod. Come on, dude. Are we that lazy? We can't just say podcast. Call it a show. Call it a program.
You heard me set him off here first, guys.
You know what? It's all like this whole elite speak and this lazy vernacular that we have, where everything has to like start with a Z or end in an X. It's like, come on, guys.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, I know.
Bill Richardson, Basileia just needs some sort of kick in the butt. Army building with them is a boring slog. My biggest wish for them was a plastic kit for Sisterhood units, especially since the infantry in a core choice and has frustratingly bad models currently. It appears it might be a pipe dream, though, despite Jeremy's pleas in 3rd edition Army Review. Although, I mean, no inside baseball here. You never know what's going to come out as part of the Vault or something like that, because they weren't that long ago that I think there'd be a chance that they would have the actual 3D file, don't you reckon, Rob?
The newer plastics and stuff, those should all be available, right, in S3D models.
Yeah,
but
so,
yeah, and your point about the sisterhood specifically, right? That those are part of the Vanguard. And do they come to Vault at some point?
I think there's some of them there. I'll log in as we keep going. I'll log into the Vault and have a look.
Well, next up we've got Andrew. He says, Ogres, get old unit strength back instead of generic large infantry unit strength profile. Croc Dog Wrangler back as well, please. And have Croc Dogs as unit. That's the second comment from that. I like his idea, though, because you've got basic generic way we do unit strength for large infantry, which is now things are troops and regiments as opposed to regiments and hordes. But maybe because you have a whole army that's based on that one type of unit, maybe they, I'm saying that, but they also have a command now, right? That's going to give them some additional unit strength. Maybe it's not necessary. Then we got John Paul Fuller Jackson, the man with 4 names. Give the forces of the Abyss a reason to want to use command orders. The army list is great, but the command orders are limited in their use, and I don't even try and use them at this point. I 100% expect all 4 armies in the new book will have the same type of treatment that we had in the last book. So you'll probably get 3 or 4 commands. You'll probably, maybe someone will get some spells. It won't surprise me if we even get some custom magical, special magical artifacts.
A couple of the comments basically along these lines of, their armies are stuck in the unadjusted phase of this edition, right? So I think that's consistent. So most of those kind of things, I think, we can pretty reliably say that they're going to be fixed. So in the Vault, Rob, for Busilia, there's a Knights upgrade pack. We've got Ogre Palace Guard, Panther, Paladins, 2 different Paladins. So you could effectively turn those into Paladin Knights if you wanted, instead of the characters. A Sergeant, who could also be a Paladin. There's a Scout, 2 different versions of a Scout. A Sister, 2 Sisters, an Abbess, a Dictator, Samacris, Julius, and the Arbalist.
So it's a nice little mix of stuff. And if you are creative, you can probably take that and extrapolate it into other uses, probably.
Yeah, so that's far enough down the line that, that maybe there would be more. I don't know, though. You never know.
Well, remember, though, they just came out with that new Salamander model, the character on the giant.
Oh, Rakawas?
Let me ask you this. What are your thoughts of them just possibly at some point, no notice, here comes a set of 3 Alohi models?
Yeah, I think that's a really distinct possibility. The thing for me will be the reason I wonder why they didn't, and maybe why, perhaps one of the reasons why the new model looks as it does could be because of the fact that they had to blend it in with characters like Samacris and Julius. Maybe they didn't want to redo the lot. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it's a possibility. And I think, if it's anything like the Trident King, some of those things we saw from releases will probably end up in the Vault at some point as well.
We can touch on it. Hobby commitments for 2026. I'll just repeat what I haven't finished, but I'm 2,500 points for Halflings, 1,500 points to add to my existing King's War army, 150 points for Armada, and 2,000 points of GCPS. Not good.
Yeah. So, no, I've done my Trident Realms. It looks like I'll do my Zerkali. I wanted to do the whole, all the new character stuff for Halflings, but that's part of the stuff that's been buggered up, and some of it's been resent to the shop, and they still managed to leave out
the one thing you needed.
Yeah, well, one of the new Halfling models, from that was all meant to be in a set, but I think somehow was delivered. So it was like Equal Opportunity Dragon or something's been, left out, and another 500 Sallies, which I actually have heaps of that stuff printed. So I'm a good chance of knocking those off. I'm confident in the Zerkali. It's more whether I get to the other 2 500-point things, but I've got some Ancients printed off, Rob, because I haven't got any Ancients in my army. So we'll see. And so I've got some Ancients, I think, and I've got some. I really want to try, because you know how the Cavacor now? I want to try them, and I've got them printed off. So
Nathan did a great job with them at Lone Wolf, right? So
yeah, I think they can be pretty good, particularly with some of the commands. Buff their defense, take a mage along with them, or a whatever the main character's called, their general version.
Well, before we get out of here, we do have a few updates on the podcast. Don't forget, you can help the show. You can share the show with the community. You can give us a review on wherever you find our show. This helps us get found by new folks in Kings of War. AI is a thing. Every once in a while, I'll just get a bug to go, Kings of War podcast. Just, and it's always funny to read what AI comes up with about our show. It's pretty accurate, all things considered. I think it's pretty accurate. If you can give us a review wherever you listen to the show, we greatly appreciate it. Also, if you have a topic, let us know. Just know that if you have a really good suggestion, we may ask you to help us with it. And then in terms of the schedule, we are working on a review of the Table in a Box set. So we're going to go deep dive into terrain and take the box apart and think about it from the perspective of TOs, players, game store owners, and the like. And just, I think there's some real great value there, especially if time is of the essence for people. It gets you to the table very, very quick. And a little birdie or maybe a little small wolf maybe told me that we might have a Zerkali review in the wings.
I haven't asked the guys yet, but I think we would have a nice critical mass now in Australia to be able to do an Aussie-based Zerkali review. So with me assembling them.
You guys don't have Outback Steakhouses there, obviously, right? In Australia?
We did for a while when I was growing up, but they kind of phased out.
Well, they go, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie in the commercial. Is that a thing? I don't even know.
Aussie is definitely a thing, but not always at steakhouses. But it's kind of gone on for so long that it's kind of it's a bit long in the tooth now, the whole Aussie thing. But no, we've got a couple of guys in Kakwa and Steve Tuck who've played a lot or who've played a bit of Zerkali. So I'm going to hit them up, and I think that'll be able to be our first official review. I think it's probably worth waiting until I get the book because I think there'll be a couple of changes for Zerkali. So we'll make sure that that's included. So, which really, my understanding is that the book might be hitting Mantic only a week or so away. So I think they'll be on track for roughly end of June delivery, early July. There's that. Yeah. So that's the thing.
And the final thing we wanted to do before we get out of here is share with you the topic for next month. How would you improve the tournament portion of Mantic Companion? You've heard people lament on this very show things they would like to see different, better, improved. They would like to see people use it more, especially the TOs. So if you were in charge, how would you improve the tournament portion of the Mantic Companion? Head over to our Facebook page, and we will have a post going up when this episode drops. Share with us your ideas. Short and sweet today.
Short and sweet.
Sweet because it's more sugary, right? Less negative. There's no salt tonight. No salt. The salt master's not here.
The king of seasoning.
The king of seasoning.
Season's greetings from Jeremy.
Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep countercharging.
Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time on Countercharge. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at counterchargepodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at countercharge15, or by commenting on the Countercharge Kings of War podcast Facebook group. If you enjoy the show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Until next time, keep countercharging. Music is a composition of Kevin MacLeod and is licensed under Creative Commons.
Alistair, here you go.
Alistair said I wanted to... Go ahead. We got outtake.